Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to be diving into the spiritual perspective of eating disorders. In so much of my work, I have people who have struggled with that at some point in their life, which I've always believed was an emotional wound. As I've been going deeper and deeper into this work with people, I see that it is very much about an attachment injury and perhaps a mother wound. Watch this video. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please click the subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications when I release new videos. And if you've been with me for a while, thank you so much and welcome back. Recently, you may have noticed I've been doing a lot of spiritual perspective videos, spiritual perspective of OCD, of ADHD, of, what did I do last week? I think it was borderline personality, the spiritual perspective of everyday issues. A lot of times things get labeled, and when they get labeled, it can give people a lot of understanding, but oftentimes we sort of band-aid the wound, the original wound that created the symptom. So the symptom continues because the original wound has not been healed. So, given many of the clients that I've been working with oftentimes have had issues with eating disorders, I've seen the common threads. I've seen the common threads of an emotional trauma. I have so many clients that will go through a trauma and have symptoms they cannot understand. They don't want to feed themselves. They don't want to take up space. They want to shrink. They don't know how to do things for themselves. It's almost as if they're going back into that incubation phase, that younger self. And one thing I want to remind you guys of is we do to our inner child what was done to us as a child before we do the inner child work, the inner teen work, and learn how to elevate ourselves, to reparent ourselves, to even trust ourselves to be able to do that. We're always looking externally. And one scary thing about the external search is we can only find what's already mirroring us. This is every relationship. If we want someone to give us permission to love ourselves and we don't love ourselves yet, we're going to attract someone who doesn't fully love us. And we think that we're getting that availability, that permission slip from someone, but we truly, in the art of the universe, cannot attract something that we are different than. I don't mean if you're attracting a narcissist, you're a narcissist, but what does a narcissist do? They're self-centered. So something in you is not centered on self. Think about that. I'll do another video on this soon. When we're talking about an eating disorder, think about it. Feeding self to have life. We lose our connection to how to give ourselves life because there was an attachment with the one that did. Take that in. Think about this. What is your relationship like with your caretaker? Was it consistent? Were you depending on undependable people? Did they not show up for you? Was there some neglect? Was there some food dynamic? Was there an emotional wound with this person where you don't feel loved, you don't feel enough, you don't feel seen, you don't feel like you deserve love, you don't feel like you are wanted? I can tell you multiple stories of clients that have had a trigger trauma where it's as if there's a shock of this system and you're back into your incubation. You're so young, you don't even know how to feed yourself, you don't want to, you don't know how to love yourself. The reason these things happen is not because there's something wrong with you. It's because something went wrong with you. Something went wrong in your development, in your experience. Think about this. I don't know how to feed myself. It's an emotional thing. I need to be perfect because I don't know how to love myself. Emotional thing. There are so many clients that I work with that have this inability to function if someone else isn't loving them. Emotional trauma. If someone is loving them and they can feed off that confidence of I am loved, but as soon as that person's gone, I don't know how to do it again. It's almost like a break in the connection, the attachment injury. If you have a thing with your mom or someone at school or someone at work that triggers that break, it could be, oh, I have all my support around me and then all of a sudden my friends are gone. That would trigger an attachment trauma. If you are in a relationship and you're being love bombed and then they discard, that will trigger an attachment trauma. When you're feeling really healthy and all is going well, and then the floor gets pulled out from under you, attachment trauma. When these attachment traumas, when these traumas with anything that we're attached to that makes us feel safe, that makes us feel seen, that makes us feel loved, that makes us feel mirrored as who we are, when there's a break in that attachment, we don't know who the hell we are. We don't know how to know that we're lovable. We don't know how to know ourselves. We are dependent on that attachment. And what's so scary in our adolescence is we're depending on people and things that we're attaching to that are always going to be uncertain, because kids are going through a lot in their teen years. Hormones change, boyfriends change, girlfriends change, grades change, varsity or not changes, homecoming queen or not. All these things are changing, that we're inevitably going to be attaching our sense of identity to things that are wavering. And if you had an original attachment trauma at home, this is mirroring that trauma, which makes it compound trauma. And then we're constantly looking to attach for that safety. This is where people get called needy. This is where people become obsessive, where you can't stop thinking about someone, you can't let something go. All of this funnels back to attachment injury. So maybe this video shouldn't even be talking about eating disorders, because it's so many other things. But this is the zone I want to look at today, because of these young women and men that come to me with these issues and they don't know where it came from, what's wrong with them. I want to just remind you, it's not what's wrong with you. It's what went wrong regarding you. You did not feel a secure attachment to your source of life. That is scarcity. That is survival. That is a nervous system that's dysregulated. That is an eating disorder. That is many other topics. That is toxic relationships. It comes from the same place. That's why this is an important topic in my work. So what to do if this is you? We got to dive into the mother wound and the father wound work, the shadow work. I've got an on-demand course right now called Shadow Work. Diving into shadow work, diving into my relationship with my mother, not the one that I've been telling everyone so that I look okay, but the one that I've been feeling, which isn't okay. Diving into the father. Oh, I know he loved me, but I don't know for sure because he didn't show up. Or he's unavailable emotionally, but he provided. Whatever that is, it's important to say out loud. So instead of bypassing yourself and gaslighting yourself out of an attachment trauma, you can actually see that it was traumatic for you. Whether you think it should be or not, it was. And if you dealt with any of the things I just talked about, you probably have an attachment injury of some kind. Really look at it. Are you more anxiously attached or avoidant? Or are you both? Disorganized attachment is sometimes you're anxious, sometimes you're avoidant, depending on the dynamic. All of these attachment injuries need to be fixed, but the way we truly heal it is by fixing the secure attachment to self. And that only happens by getting really honest emotionally, getting real about how you feel so you can heal. If you're looking for that work, join me in emotional rehab. It is starting very soon in March. We haven't picked a day to do our lives yet because everyone's from all over the world. So we haven't found the right day to do those lives. We will work on that ASAP, but the course opens for March. So if you're really wanting to start to dive into this secure attachment to self, to this true identity, not the inaccurate mirror you were given, not the attachment injury that makes you scared and anxious and fearful of attaching or not being attached to, abandonment, rejection, all of that. Really dive into emotional rehab. You can also do the on-demand version. You don't have to worry about the live calls. You can do it at your own pace. It's 12 weeks, but I want you guys to check it out. Also, before I go, because today is Wednesday, we are full for our Inner Work 1, but I've opened a second Inner Work 1 same day. So that sign up is below, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday. If you guys want to jump into that, we start Monday. So send me a message, check out the link. Please share this video with at least one person you think it could serve in some way. I really appreciate and adore you guys. I can't wait to meet so many of you guys in person when we start doing our live events this year. So please stay tuned. Make sure you're on my mailing list, my newsletter list below. It is free. You just sign up to hear about all the things that are going on and to get weekly blogs from me. Love you guys again. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon.